I had a bit of a panic attack last night when I heard that crack from this wooden adapter plate on the engine stand. It was actually one of the heads of these bolts pulling through the plywood. So before I twirled this round here, I took these bolts out one by one and put the washer on this side. I should have done that in the first place. But anyway, they're all tightened back up again and it looks as if it's okay, right. However, I was being a little bit paranoid, so I put the doggy foam stairs underneath it just in case the engine would have a soft landing somewhere. Either me or the engine would have a soft landing, one or the other. Right, so the next step is to put the sump on. We don't actually have a sump pan for this, it came without a sump pan. Don't ask me why, I have no idea. But I think that goes in like this somehow. I'll get my gloves and then we'll get the... I mean, that's basically the oil filter, what you're looking at there. You know, it's a piece of gauze which stops the oil. It stops, large particulates circulating around the oil. Let's put it that way. Not really an oil filter as we understand it, right? But it's something. And rather not. The last engine I put it in without that, right? So just because I was doing it on the cheap. But this one has it, so we're going to install it. And now, what way does it go in? You may ask. Like that to fit around the oil pump, or none of the above. Definitely not that way. That way. I think that's how you have it. None of those holes line up, FYI. And yeah, they do. Like that, right? Yes. Okay, and I think I kept all of the butts and bolts separate for that, because they were so nice and shiny-ish. As it stands. And this is the little things. The little things, you know. So let's get busy putting them in. Shouldn't take but a moment. Just one last thing. Anything we're missing here? Well, why don't we do what we did in the other one and put a little STP around here where the engine's going together. Wouldn't that be smart? You know, for that initial few turns before it instantly starts. Let's say it's going to instantly start, but some crucial lubrication prior to that actually happening, right? So let's just pour a little STP in here. We'll be liberal with it. I do love the old STP, I think I explained that to you before. And I've had some fantastic results with STP over the years. So I'm keeping at it. You know what I suddenly thought too? I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but the long shaft that I missed out on the starter, the nose cone, I might be able to just push that in. Don't know if it has to be in the cone before you actually assemble it. Let's see if I can just turn the engine over a little bit before bolting up. Put some STP on these. I couldn't quite get to those other two beams. You can't have too much of that stuff in there, in my humble opinion. Everyone will have their own predilections on this kind of stuff, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. easy to turn that thing. And there's some on the cam as well. I was dropping this stuff like willy-nilly, man. Come on, come on. Some on the cam as well. Right. Okay, that'll do just now. Let's just get this little gauze in here. What did we decide? That way around and line it up with that front bolt hole there, like that. Once I get these going, I'll set it to speed through so you're not bored to death watching me do this stuff. That's good. worry, it's not deja vu all over again. I just decided I'm going to take the sump off of this one. It did leak oil all over my floor after I had filled it, so I'm a little bit worried that the sump might be busted, but it might not be. Let's not assume that until we get it up. So what we have to do is disconnect the drive shaft here. I'm leaving the gearbox on. I'll just take the cables off, it's fine. Take the engine mounting bolts out of there, and then just bring the engine hoist in. I'll back my lawnmower out, bring the engine hoist in, and hoist it up and take the sump off it. I don't know if there's oil in it. Going by the amount of oil all over my garage floor, it should be empty. It is empty, because it's all over my floor. Which is not a good sign if the sump, you know, the sump might be damaged. But anyway, I'll start taking this apart and you all can just speed through. I'll speed it up as I go along. This is this unique chassis and layout and engine because it's a British engine, but it's an export model, right? So all the controls are on the other side, so you can drive with the steering wheel on the correct side. So instead of my steering being on the right, the steering's going to be on the left here. So, you know, I don't want to... Ultimately, if I'm building a second Austin 7, the body would come off of the one I got from Queens and go on here, and I'd build Austin 7, an American Austin 7, and hope I could get paperwork for it. There is an engine ID tag on it, so you know, I might be able to get something out of it and get some sort of documentation that I could use it here in America. That would be awesome, right? If I took my Austin 7 back to Scotland with me, this one could be the one that stays here. So anyway, all of that is way, way, way in the future, right? But right now I need to get this engine out here so I can steal the sump off of it. That's the key thing. Only a lavender cowboy, the hairs on his chest they were too. He wanted to follow the hero and do what the he-men do. Red, green, and many-colored hair tonics he rubbed on his chest day and night. When he looked in the mirror next morning, no sump there. Maybe leave it. Maybe not. It'd be good if I could just kind of shift it out a bit, wouldn't it? Sounds like an engine bolt just fell out. Oh, good. And now let's try and get it underneath there. So, it's underneath the gearbox to begin with, I think. That round that starter. Starter's got 2 big bolts in it. That's also a good spot. A good spot, you know. Just pull that right up there. I think it will. A bit of too much force on that nose cone, I think. I think we should put it right underneath the sump, as I originally intended to do before I gave up. So let's do that. I think we should be able to almost stand it. This is tighten an old-fashioned knot now. I still work these things out by hand. FYI. You'll just lift them out and plonk it on the ground. I'll turn you around, you can watch the fun and games getting the lawnmower and all the gubbins out of the garage. What other engine event? I've not done that one. Okay. There's all the crap out the way. Gonna get wet. see the proceedings. Make do. Here, I was just using this, so it should be okay. I don't think it will seized up again. It's like the Tin Man, you know. Are you guys still recording? Yeah, you are. It's like the Tin Man, as I was saying, it sits outside and it gets rusty. This is not going to be unusualness here, because I'm lifting it out from the side, right, so. We'll see if it'll lift, I don't know. It might. Just taking all the slack off the rope thing. Getting a wee mini bike. Don't hit me any bike. You know? Water coming out of the gearbox. And of course I put the strap right down about the sump. Well, it got it out all right, so that's the main thing. We could actually roll this. No, we can't roll it anywhere. We can roll the engine hoist over with the engine attached, run with hoop. Super. Is that safe enough? It's not safe enough because I need to get to the sump, so the thing in question, if we can set that down on this wee trolley here without it getting stuck on the hoist, then we'll move on coconut. Can we let it down that way? I'm still going to have the same problem that I need to stand it up to get the sump off it. But I think that would be okay. You know, I was thinking when I hoisted it up I'd be able to get underneath and take the sump off, but of course I can't. Not with the way I've done that hoist there. I'll take this off. I could take this off, but I don't think that's going to work, is it? If I keep it over to that side of it, okay, let's try it. You think it was meant for that? And by Jove it is. That's very awesome, isn't it? I love this machine, I really do. It's a phenomenal machine. And it's got me at a pickle quite a few times, let me tell you. Anyhow, there we go. And then why don't we just put the engine house right outside again? Bring you over if you so wish. Right, the mission is to get the sump off of this little sucker, which ain't going to be all that easy, really, is it? Let's take this off first of all, so it doesn't impale us anywhere. A little gear shift. Camera just stand it up on its end. I've got all the wrenches and everything right here. So a big old knot I put in that. That's probably going to be interesting. Isn't it? No, not at all. Let's try it. You guys watching this? We'll soon find out, won't we? Travel. There we go. Righty ho. Oh no. That's water coming out the gearbox. Anyway, that sump looks okay, doesn't it? Right, let's get busy. I don't think there's going to be any oil in that, so let's just get a wiggle on and get this off of here. Sitting on that starter. So let's just be careful of that. Oh, these are loose. Well, no wonder they're losing oil. Nope. And there's another one here, which is probably the right size. Almost the right size. Let's get the stanchione. Unscrew. Let's get busy. One, Three. Four. This. These are all loose. No wonder there's piss and oil everywhere. Honest to God. Most of them are just not even finger tight. They're just. These are special wee washers. Still not the right size socket, by the way. I'm just making do because they're so loose. Ooh, look what I was trying to start that engine with. Jeez. Okay, at least it didn't piss oil everywhere. Now let's just collect up these little suckers and we'll push the dipstick in there out the way so it doesn't get bent when I turn this back over. Oh! Did make a mess, but it's just water. Rusty, oily water. I can just put that right back on this little thing. Incorrect, sir. Incorrect. If it doesn't jump on me, maybe. Put one end up tight. And bump it up against something that won't move. Like maybe that wheel.